This week on the Beard Laws Podcast.
Are you staining your taint? I know some people bleach their butthole. Can you stain your taint? It was years ago. I showed pictures of my ass crack. You know, it is what it is. You can't just take pictures of your feet and make millions, girl. Like, you got to do a little bit of work. First of all, my feet are extremely ticklish. I'm going to kick an Oriental person in the face. So I am a huge slut for loyalty perks. So my ass has, like, if you go through my phone, you can tell why I got these bitch tits.
Don't really want to have them in my studio unless it's shower day. No offense to them, but apparently a rhino killed a zookeeper and injured some others in Austria.
He was horny.
Could you imagine just fucking getting trampled by a rhino? Like, nope.
No. I dated some big women in my life, but that's probably the only thing comparable.
There's just so much skunk smell on the golf course today.
You want to come to this? And I'm like, you're trying to set me up for an intervention. I'm not going.
I come to weird things, but not that.
Yes, exactly. That is not on my list.
Milk, lemonade, chocolate.
Milk, lemonade, chocolate.
Milk, lemonade, chocolate.
In the realm of beard loss, a trio strong and true. Yuban, Brandon, and beard loss with tales both old and new. Their whiskers like a forest, their knowledge like a stream, guiding us through beardom and culinary dream. Beard loss, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. Yuban, the jester in clouds of green, laughs in wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, food daddy supreme, a feast of facts, a culinary dream.
Back at it, episode 207, pretty sure. If you're listening to this, thanks. That was a cool little intro thing we've been doing. Maybe we're even gonna have Yuban or Brandon's voice in on this week's episode or something funny. But if not, you're stuck with me. But I think it's a cool thing that we're doing, just taking some funny moments from each of the episodes and just kind of tossing it out there for anybody that doesn't love sports. We did a little bit of sports last week. If you love sports, go watch it. And at the end of the day, we love sports. So if it comes up in conversation, well, that's what we're going to do. So quick shout out, Deluxe Edition Network, Podcast of the Month, Metalhead Journeys, The MILF in Me, and obviously check out deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Got another one that is the Beyond the Box podcast. Again, just Beyond the Box opens a dialogue for conversations that need to be had and brings awareness to issues that need to be addressed. Check them out if you want. Beyond the Box podcast. And shout out to our Patreon subscribers. You guys are awesome. They get all that exclusive stuff that nobody else sees, that producer Jace is out there clipping some stuff that's just not YouTube and Facebook friendly. It's pretty cool. So thanks to all three of you. We appreciate it. Someday we're gonna have like 80,000 Patreon subscribers. They're gonna look back at episode 207 and be like, holy shit. Can't believe I was one of the first three.
OG.
And then we're going to be able to do this for a living, and who knows if it'll make us happier or more miserable, because I feel like sometimes some people that just do content creation full time get pretty miserable. And
yeah, being friends with a lot of them too. You kind of see those highs and lows. They're like, oh man, this is great. I got this opportunity. And then you talk to them 2 months later and they're like, I hate every bit of this.
yeah, I was just talking to somebody too, and one of their platforms got demonetized, and it was pretty decent money. And it's, you start to rely on this money for your extra income, family. You put a lot of hard work into this stuff, and when it goes away, it's like, well, that sucks, and you typically find another income source or whatever. But I was at a golf tournament yesterday, and somebody came up and they were like, and I know the person, and they're like, man, I love watching those funny TikToks you do with, people shaving their beard and just this and that. And I'm like, you watch them? They're like, yeah, they're hilarious. I'm like, wow, sorry about that. But then somebody was like, do you remember when, and I forget what they said, one of the guys on the show, and I'm like, yeah. And they were sitting there, and it was the guy's like friend. I don't know if it was a girlfriend, a wife, or just somebody that was there. You never know with the golf stuff. And they're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I used to subscribe to his OnlyFans. And I can't remember who it was. And I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, he has a lot of subscribers. He must make like a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And I don't know the numbers or anything, but it's just kind of funny how it was somebody on the show and they were just going this and that. And they were like, oh, then they just got on this whole thing with OnlyFans. And they're like, oh, well, I have a friend or a coworker that started an OnlyFans, and they can't get anybody to subscribe. They're putting out all this stuff, and she's showing me all the stuff she's doing, and just nobody's paying for it. Like, how do you do that? And I'm thinking, do I really need to be like an OnlyFans coach or something for these people? And I don't know shit about it. I mean, I've never subscribed to anybody. I've never had one. I'm like, I could probably make some money being a coach for these people. But it's like,
There's always a hustle somewhere. And I mean, honestly, we talk about it at work a lot. Everyone's always talking about a side hustle. And the women are always like, I'm about to start an OnlyFans. I'm like, do it. And they're like, the fuck? I'm like, get your money. I used to do that shit. And they're like, wait, hold up. And I'm very just open about it now. I'm like, hey, it was years ago. I showed pictures of my ass crack. It is what it is. And they're like, wait, so how much would you charge? How much would you charge? And I'm like, oh, it was this. You have a menu, and I'm showing them everything. And they're like, so this, I should probably start this. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, if your husband gets mad about it, tell him to fuck off. I'm like, give him 10%. Let him be your agent, get him in on it. Let him take the pictures.
yeah, let him
Win-win for
let him take
everybody.
let him take the pictures, let him answer the messages if you really want. I think it should be authentic through the creator if it was
Mhm.
me, but and I did bring up the FriTOES to them about you.
Those are just the Doritos, the FriTOES, all of it. I might just start this bad boy again. We've talked about OnlyFans a lot. Groceries aren't getting any cheaper. Fritos aren't
Mhm.
getting any cheaper. I'm gonna start
True.
my, mark it down, audience. Daddy's getting his
Ooh.
OnlyFans back.
And if you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll get one foot pick. I mean, you'll have to get access. I don't need you sending me weird stuff, so you can post it directly. I'll give you access to it. So
I think you being the middle foot man is exactly the direction that my OnlyFans needs. So I think I'll just send them to you, and then you just be the middleman and send it to the other people. I think you have a great delivery and a great foot
Mhm.
pick delivery as well.
There's a lot of things I think that I would never see or say or hear in my life, and that was definitely one. I never thought that I would get the opportunity to be a middle footman for a thing. But I was telling the Fritos thing, and the bartender at the golf tournament was like, "Feet, I just don't get it. Like, what is up with the feet people?" I'm like, I mean, statistically, the feet people are probably the closet serial killers. And she was just going off and off about these feet pick, and she's like, I had this ex, and he was super, I think, into feet, and he just loved them. And he said, how much money I can make with the feet and this and that. I'm like, there you go. She goes, well, maybe I'm going to start one. And I don't even have to put like my ass or my tits or anything out there, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess you could just do the feet thing. She's like, well, how do you get people to do it? I'm like, you got to market it. You got to get online. You got to push it. You got to hustle. She's like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, yeah, you probably don't want to put that on your Facebook so all your friends and family can see it, but I don't know. And so get on Reddit. Reddit's pretty wild.
Oh yeah. Reddit there. I mean, like there's feetfinder.com or whatever the hell it is. There's a whole bunch of options, but that's what I always tell people too. I was like, hey, you can't just start an OnlyFans and just expect it to do well. Like you have to advertise that. You have to have a different account that does well to be able to influence that on there. And so I was like, hey, start another TikTok that's strictly just your feet, your little piggly wigglies, whatever you want to do. Or an Instagram or Reddit, something like that, and build off of that. And they're like, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm like, you can't just take pictures of your feet and make millions, girl. Like you got to do a little bit of work. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to distinguish what is a good looking foot and what isn't. You know what I mean? Granted,
Same.
I've seen some like gnarly toenails. I know an absolutely ugly foot. But if someone goes, damn, that girl's got pretty feet, and I go, it looks like fucking feet, my guy. I don't know like what distinguishes between a foot that's gonna get you rock hard or not. I know like they're like, oh, you could just tell. That's a soft foot. I can't tell. I have no fucking idea. Can you? Do you know what a good looking foot looks like?
I can't. I mean, no, I think I could pick out a bad looking foot, but I can't distinguish if a foot looks good or not. Like you said, I don't know. I mean, I could probably, I was going to say confidently, but now I'm not confident. Pick out the difference between a man and a woman foot. But I don't know. I don't know if I could anymore now. I mean, and this isn't like a knocking on anybody, but there's just a lot of guys and girls and whatever else people identify as that go and get pedicures and stuff and really take
Mhm.
care of their feet. And it's not I mean, was it a thing that 20, 30, 40 years ago that dudes would go into these places and get their feet done? Probably not. But now it doesn't matter, what if you're straight, you're gay or anything. Like I know a bunch of people who are straight that are dudes and they just get their feet done. They're like, you got to take care of your feet. I'm
And
like, oh, fair enough.
that's what they preach to. They're like, dude, you got to be getting your feet taken care of. Like you don't get this done just like even once every 2 months. I'm like, no, not once in my life. First of all, my feet are extremely ticklish. I'm gonna kick an Oriental person in the face. Like that's
Mhm.
100% gonna happen.
How many
And
times do you think that has happened? It has
oh,
to happen, right?
a lot. I would assume. And it's just I don't know what it is. As soon as they grab my foot, if they even get in between my toes, I'm giggling like a little girl
Yep.
easily. and I am going to just start kicking. Like I'm going to look like I am in the Tour de France, just pedaling like a fucking fiend. Okay, I'm
What we should
speed
do,
wagon.
if we ever get to the point where we have 80,000 patron subscribers or a decent amount, we're going to meet up and we're going to do a live episode from, what are they, salons or whatever they're called, and we're going to get a pedicure, and we're going to have our conversation while we're getting a pedicure, just to see how it goes.
And hopefully we have somebody who can understand the language of how much shit that is being said to us. They call a big man. He don't know diabetes. He have a rough feet.
Yeah. What is this man? He Amish? He have very big beard and very, very rough, stinky feet.
Very big penis.
I can tell.
Yeah. You can tell from
yeah.
the big toe. It's an urban myth.
I bet you they know some stuff. But we have to be careful we don't go in, because next thing you know, if we're getting our feet work done and like Robert Kraft and the boys are next to us, we're probably in not a very podcast friendly atmosphere. But
Very true.
Could make for a good show, maybe for some OnlyFans content. I don't know. But
I
didn't
be a hell of a sponsor.
I know I didn't expect to talk about OnlyFans that much, but I tell you what, it's a sign of getting old when, like, I'm sore as fuck right now from a golf tournament yesterday. Like a golf tournament. And I'm like, God damn, I'm getting old. So I used to golf a lot, love golf. And a lot of people are like, great, I don't want to fucking hear about guys talk about golf. But I got too serious and it just became unfun. So I stopped for like 6 years. And now I'll only play tournaments that are fundraisers and stuff for good causes, because I'm not taking that shit serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the place that I work, they had their 15th annual golf tournament in memory of one of the past presidents who passed away. So it's been 15 years. They've been having this golf tournament. Just an awesome thing. Every single penny that's raised in the golf tournament goes to the local Boys and Girls Club. And it's
awesome.
Huge fundraiser, right? And 18-hole golf course. This golf course is very nice. They do an awesome job. So John and his staff, shout out to you. But guess how many teams come to this tournament? If you could just guess.
I'm going to go ahead and say 56.
Very close. 62 they had. 62 teams. So we were in 16somes, most of us, and golfing. It is a very long day. Shotgun start at 10. I think we got done about 6 or 6:30.
Ooh, that's a
Very
long
long
day drinking.
And yeah, you mentioned drinking. All of the alcohol is included in your entry fee. You get 3 meals included in your entry fee. You get breakfast, lunch, and a steak dinner. There was a band, fireworks. You got a swag bag. You had a chance at they did this thing called Beat the Pro. So if your team paid, I think it was like, I don't know, $10 a piece or something like that. If you beat a golf pro, then you guys win. You each get $50. If you lose, obviously they keep it. So we did it, right? And obviously captain crew format, we get a ball on. We're like 10 foot away. We're like, fuck yeah. And he hit first, and he was like on the fringe or on the lower part of the green. We're like, no way this guy's birdieing this. No way. And we got a good chance at it, right? And we still had a mulligan left, because you can use mulligans only on the green. And they did this cool thing called grenade. You can throw the ball. You each get 1 throw per 18 rounds, as long as it's not on the green.
That's badass.
Right. So me being a smart ass, I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, you can probably beat us on here, but I guarantee you can't throw it farther than me. I said, I'll bet you $10 you can't throw it farther than me. And he's like, all right, let's try it. And then it just never worked out, because it was, 16 people versus him.
Right.
So
right.
He gets the ball there. We all go, and there's 2 or 3 teams that have a chance at making a birdie and potentially beating him. So he gets on there, probably 35-foot putt, hill and everything. He fucking sinks it.
That's why he's a pro, baby. That's why he's a pro.
So, of course, he makes the putt first. None of us get to putt. And we're like, you know what? Since he beat us, the hell with you. We're taking your score. So we got to birdie that hole. Hell yeah.
Right. That's the way it's fair. Because if you're going to donate the money for that cost, you're like, hey, I'm taking your shot, though. That's what. Because we have the same one where you can out drive a pro. And we always have those guys like, I can do it. And then they're hitting it, 100 yards while this guy's driving it like 350, and he's like, oh, it's close. And I was like, very close. But I think we're still going to go with the pros ball, and not to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, they do a couple of things. Obviously, having 60-something teams each year, they have to come up with some clever ways to keep the speed of play up. So they move up some of the par fives. So you're starting your second shot at like 200 or something like
Yep.
that. Just, because there's, and everybody plays from the same tees, and, not to be sexist, some women just can't hit the ball as far. And, especially if there's some older ladies and that are used to playing on other tees and stuff like that. So it was a very good time, but it cleaned out pretty quick towards the end of the night. And I got a ride over with some of my dudes, and next thing you know, I was like, I got a ride there. Yeah. And they were twisted. I mean, don't get me wrong, we were all feeling pretty good. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a leak. I'll be right back. Take a leak. They're fucking gone. And I'm like, and they legit probably just forgot. Like, they were twisted. I'm like, God damn it. And I'm like 45 minutes from home. So I'm like, God damn. So call the old lady, and she's like, yeah, I can come get you or whatever. And then thankfully, my dude Bergie was like, hey, I can drop you off somewhere. I'm going home. And he was drinking NA beer, so he was good to go. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
You're like, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Thank you.
It does. So on a ride home, and ended up feeling pretty rough this morning. I think that's gonna get some coffee. I mean, we're gonna feel, but I'm sore as fuck. Like, am I that out of shape, or is that what getting old is? I mean, I'm obviously a little older than you, but
Well, I'm more out of shape than you are too. So I would say I can't really, I mean, I'm sore, but just because my son was in his little 12-volt little doom buggy car, chasing me around the yard, like he's gonna run me over. So I was like running away from him. Even doing that, and my kids had a damn nature hike to meet the teacher. They have these events where they meet up on a Saturday and they'll go hiking for 2 hours around these different areas, learn about science and everything. It's pretty cool. But I'm like,
that's kind of cool.
we gotta go hiking. I'm like, what the fuck? So that was yesterday. So, and they said it was only gonna last an hour. 2.5 hours later, because there was a group of parents that were struggling to make it the 2 mile. And I'm like, hey, maybe next time, wait at the picnic area. We'll take your kids with, don't worry about it. So
Yeah.
it was I'm feeling it today. And then now I have to go paint my deck after this as well. So Monday, I'm gonna move as much as Christopher Reeve, just the head, that's it. I'm not gonna be able to do shit. Getting out of bed was rough enough as it is.
Yeah.
Getting old sucks.
It does suck. And then I couldn't find I was telling you right before the show, like, I couldn't find my glasses. These are my studio glasses. I can barely see anything out of these goddamn. These are a prescription that were like 4 ago. I cannot find my goddamn. I'm really hoping that they're in the house somewhere, because I'm pretty goddamn blind without them. And
well, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
I did have something stupid that happened with work. We have a couple kids that work with us. It's kind of like a back in the day, we used to have like Votech. I don't know if you know what that is, where they do like half day. These high school kids would be able to go out and do like if they were studying for nursing or auto body or something like that, they'd be able to leave early to go be able to do that. Well, now
we have something like that. It's just called different. Yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine they're all probably different programs or whatever, but essentially the same thing. And but we have these 2 kids that eventually, I guess now they do virtual school for half a day, and then they can go to work. Usually it used to be just seniors, but we've got sophomores that will do that now too and stuff. But
and it's like a trade school, pretty much.
It should be, but they're working in a hotel. So that's why I'm like, I think you can work anywhere. Like back in my day, it was, you were just like, it was vocational schools. It was, nursing, auto body, welding, some sort of stuff like that. But this is now you can work wherever. They only have to go to school until 11. And I was like, the fuck, this is wild. But these 2 kids are working with us. We're, remodeling one of the hotels still. And we're sitting there, doing all this work. And of course, I always have to pay for them to have lunch. And I'm get that shit expensed, but makes me look good. They're like, oh, Brandon's buying us lunch again. I'm like, I'm putting in an extra tip on there for myself so I can get reimbursed. But we go to this little restaurant. These places make the best burgers. The one that I get is a grilled cheese bacon burger. Each bun is a grilled cheese sandwich with bacon in it. Then it's the patty, cheese, bacon, and another grilled cheese sandwich.
So sandwich, patty, full sandwich?
Full sandwich. So 2 pieces of bread on each side. So there's 4 pieces of bread in this thing. Wow. Delicious. I love this place, right? We're going. This one kid has crippling social anxiety. Like, I didn't realize it was, like, I have a little bit of anxiety. This kid, I mean, crippling. We had 8 people in this booth. We're all ordering round robin style. It gets up to him and he's like, I just want a cheeseburger with ketchup only. And she's like, what kind of cheese would you like, honey? He's like, and she names it off. She's like, we've got American, Swiss, pepper jack, cheddar, I think is the options.
A lot coming in.
So he's just like, yeah, I'll go with American Swiss. And she's like, well, honey, which one would you like? I'm going to have to charge you for another one if you want to. He's like, no, don't charge me. Just American Swiss. She's like, looking around like, are you fucking with me? And we're all laughing. We're like, hey, man, just choose one. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. American Swiss. Bro, what the fuck? And we're like, are you high right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, what? And like he's sitting there and he's getting red, just looking down, like panicking. We're like, hey, just breathe. Like, which one do you want? American or Swiss? Those are two types of cheeses. Only choose one. He looks directly at me. He goes, okay, yeah. I'll just go with American Swiss, please. And I go, you motherfucker, what are you doing? And so eventually we're like, you just want American. He goes, okay. Yeah. So the entire time that all of us started like finishing our order, I got to my sandwich. I'm like, hey, I want the top sandwich to be American and the bottom to be Swiss. And by this time, this waitress is like, you motherfuckers. She goes, I know you all are fucking with me, but then she went to deliver his food and she goes, here you go, hon. Here's your cheeseburger. And we all go, like, say it. And she just walks away. And we're like, what the fuck, lady? And she goes, oh, I missed my opportunity. And then at the very end, mind you, this lady's like 60. She goes over and she asks her pay. She looks at me. She's like, hey, do you want a box? And I was thinking about that Ross Promotions thing. So I stood up and I was like, bitch, if you want to. And she looks at me. She goes, you're funny. And I was like, I've been told. And everyone over there like, here we go. It's an older lady. Brandon's probably hitting on her again. And I'm like, hey, anything to get this meal a little bit cheaper, guys. Okay. But yeah, apparently American Swiss Kraft, if you're listening, get on this. Okay. Make an American Swiss cheese. My buddy needs it.
According to the internet, because I'm over here Googling stuff while you're talking, there is a thing called sliced Swiss American cheese. It tastes like Swiss, but melts like American cheese. The cheese makes a great grilled cheese sandwich, and it's priced per pound, $8.99. It's in stock at Pinconning Cheese Company.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm getting this guy for Christmas. He's going to be delighted.
Oh, if you go to the cheesestoreandmore.com, love the name. There's American Swiss cheese slices. American cheese is a type of processed cheese. It can be orange, yellow, or white in color. So American Swiss slices. So maybe this dude is just right the entire time, and we're calling it American or Swiss, but maybe the real American is American Swiss.
It's all that stuff he's learning in the first 3 hours of school before he leaves.
Yeah. I mean,
do you ever go to a cheese factory? Have you been to a strictly cheese store before?
I've never gone to a store that just sells cheese, but near us in the town that actually Logan lives in, there used to be 2 different cheese factories. There's still one there. And I'm pretty sure, I've never gone into the facility, but I've chatted with a lot of people that work there. And they all said if you made cheese all day, you would want nothing to do with cheese. Obviously, we love the smell of it, but just in there, it fucking stinks in the process. And, obviously everything is clean, but he's like, there's a lot that goes down in there. And it's just like, oh, you're probably right. I mean, but I feel like that's the thing with anything, if you're back there watching, the dude that just made your grilled cheeseburgers, you're probably not going to enjoy it because let's be honest, most cooks should be in the back behind closed doors, not like Subway.
Or in prison.
Or they were just done from prison and now they're back. And what's that movie with where the one where they're making the food, Waiting or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah. That shit goes down.
Oh, absolutely.
You just triggered my brain back to that time. I just waited 2.5 hours for that meal. And I was just like,
oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that. Again, you have way more patience, especially with a child with you as well. No fucking way.
Yeah, if you're wondering what we're talking about, go back a couple episodes and you can see me do a very politically somewhat nice version of somebody waiting way too long for it. But we have these things, they're called gold cards. So what it is, it's a plastic card and you get discounts at local places and stuff like that. And the place that I was talking about had 10% off. I'm like, well, not getting that fucking kick back on that. But the one that I think the old lady and her kids they love McDonald's. I can't stand it. I don't know what it is. And there's a thing where if you buy a large sandwich or combo or something like that, you get either 4 free nuggets, a McDouble, or a McChicken with your order. I'm like, shit, you only got to go like 10 or 12 times, you get your $25 back.
It's so that little stupid conference I went to the beginning of the week, this week, they were talking very big about loyalty perks. That's what they were driving on and how everyone is doing very big things with their loyalty programs. And so apparently next week, Wendy's is offering a burger for a penny. McDonald's is offering it for a quarter, I believe, and Burger King's 50 cents. I may have McDonald's and Burger King switched around, but no more than 50 cents for a burger, I believe, starting on the 18th, which
Ooh, that's going to be at the time of the recording a couple of days before. So if you're
well,
listening now, 50 Cent is going to be at Burger King, I heard.
so, and I believe it's through the 22nd, which I believe is the day that this is airing, maybe. So, if you guys are listening, run, don't walk to your
If it ends, if it goes to the
everything.
22nd, this will air on the 21st. So you have today and the next day.
Perfect.
And again, 50 Cent is going to be at every Burger King. I don't know how he's going to do it. 50 Cent has been getting a lot of love on this show lately.
Just keeping them relevant.
Apparently, it was National Cheeseburger Day, or it's coming up. Did we miss it? We already missed it?
I believe it was last week, wasn't it? I think because
yeah.
Wendy's had a discount for that too. I have
No, it's the 18th. Yeah, so we missed it live on the show, but for us recording, it's tomorrow. In honor of National Cheeseburger Day, McDonald's is going to sell 50-cent double cheeseburgers. The deal is only available exclusively on September 18th with no purchase necessary. And you have to do it through the app.
And so that's the thing is too. So the app is through for Wendy's as well. And I know Wendy's is the 18th through the 22nd. So
okay. Oh yeah. Here we go. Wendy's is going to sell 1-cent cheeseburgers for National Cheeseburger Day. They'll offer a deal on cheeseburgers. The deal starts on the 18th, runs through the 22nd. Customers can purchase a 1-cent junior bacon cheeseburger with any purchase through the Wendy's app, as reported by Boom. And then Burger King. Here's the Burger King lineup. National Cheeseburger Day. Here it is, September 18th through the 24th. 19th, customers who spend $1 or more get a free Whopper Junior. The 20th, Whoppers are available for $3. 21st, buy one, get one free on all Whoppers. 22nd, receive a free order of onion rings. Those are going to give you some terrible farts with any purchase of $1 or more. September 23rd, purchase a family bundle meal for $22. The fuck's a family bundle meal?
Have you not seen, dude? Do you not do this? Okay, so I know you. So you don't do McDonald's and stuff like that. They have these family bundles, and that's what we get with a family of 5. Like the McDonald's ones, they're under the shareables. You can get 40 nuggets, 2 large fries for fucking like $16.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's and then the BK ones, they have one that you can get like 2 original chicken sandwiches, 2 Whoppers, 2 small fries, 2 drinks, and like 2 onion rings for $20-something.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, National Cheeseburger Day. It's family bundle meal for $22.
So I am a huge slut for loyalty perks. So my ass has like, if you go through my phone, you can tell why I got these bitch tits, because you're going through like Chipotle, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger, every app, Pizza Hut, Domino's, because I love my perks. Because sometimes we're like, I don't want to go eat out. You know how it is. You don't want to drive an hour to go get food and come all the way. But you're like, oh, this is gonna take a fucking day. But you look through, you're like, I've got 2 free pizzas. I've got a free kids meal. Like, okay, shit. We'll do the rounds and then don't have to pay for a fucking thing. It works.
So is it still fast food though? Like if you were to be like, you know what, I do love the McDonald's burgers better, but I like the Burger King fries better, but I like the Frosty from Wendy's. So if you're spending time going to all these places for one meal, is it still considered fast food? Because I mean, it's not fast.
Yeah, no, that's not fast. And half the time that you're waiting to drive through anymore, it seems like 10 minutes. I don't know if it's like that where you're at, but every time I go to McDonald's, if there's 4 cars in the drive through, I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be here in a minute. Like, this sucks. But
there is always a line at the, like, it's gross to me how busy this McDonald's always is. So the where it is in the city where Zach actually lives and I work, there's a McDonald's, there's a Burger King right across, then there's a Dunkin' Donuts, then there's a bowling alley or a liquor store, then a bowling alley, and then like a local chain restaurant, all within hundreds of feet, like not that far of a place, and it's all right there. And yeah, it's McDonald's there. I don't think I've ever driven by, even on Christmas, November, whenever they make those employees work, there's always at least, and it's got the double drive-through, there's always at least 4 to 6 people, it seems like, in the drive-through.
Well, those are the only essentials that you need: bowling, liquor, Burger King, McDonald's. I mean, that's what you need. Dunkin's.
And then
Everyone
yeah,
runs on
Dunkin',
Dunkin's.
yeah, America apparently runs on it. And if you end up, and then if you decide you want to support somebody local, you got a local place right across from there. They have the biggest salad bar in the entire. I might even say county. Huge salad bar,
Oh shit.
sports bar. Typical local. You know what I mean? Sports bar in a smaller place. It's got the one thing that's cool is they do have a couple of like old clippings and stuff like that under each table, and it's different. So you might be able to read an article from the 60s or here or there,
That's
and they got a
cool.
big fish tank. Kids love to go in there, but
Now, talking about history, I guess this has been a trend. I don't know if you're on this side of TikTok yet, but the Roman Empire. Have you been seeing anything about the Roman Empire? Okay,
no,
so apparently there's this study, or maybe it's not a study, but people are noticing that men often think about the Roman Empire more often than women. So when would you think that you've thought about the Roman Empire? How recently?
honestly, probably recently when it was the Elon Musk versus Zuckerberg fight, and then they were thinking about fighting at
Yeah.
the Coliseum and stuff.
So do you often think about like if I flashback, oh man, like gladiator time would be kind of cool. Like, you know what I mean? Just like you like often think about. So I guess my wife and I were talking about it, and because she came up to me, she's like, "Hey, how often do you think about the Roman Empire?" And I was like, maybe 3 or 4 times a month. And she's like, Why?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, you think about it sometimes. Like, I'll see like a quarter, and I see a coin, and I'm like, oh, you think about like older times, currency, how things have evolved, and I just think about certain stupid things about back in the day. You didn't have to do this. Back in the day, you'd be able to fight for your life to be able to do something. You know what I mean? It's just, and so I guess there's been just TikTok after TikTok of people, even like Hank Green. I don't know if you know who Hank Green is.
Yeah.
He made a TikTok about it as well, and just how often that he himself even thinks about the Roman Empire. And I'm like, so I even asked my kid, my boys, I was like, hey, my son, he's a huge history buff though, so I was like, this one probably won't count. But I was like, hey, you ever think about the Roman Empire? And he's like, yeah, dude, like almost every other day. And I was like, see? And my wife's like, what the fuck? She's like, this has got to be the tism. This has got to be something. She's like, it has to be. And I was like, that seems pretty valid. But I would
Man,
say
I think I'm the opposite. I don't know other than with the Zuckerberg and Elon Musk fighting. I don't know the last time I've thought about the Roman Empire.
oh, dude, like the chariots and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just, it's a very important part of history that a lot of the things have stemmed down from. I don't know what it is. I like,
Hmm.
and then I would say the Civil War. I think about the Civil War a lot too, like just old school shit. So apparently, I need to think about better things in my life than old time battles and shit.
I mean, maybe it's because we do another like history podcast, so we're always trying to uncover stuff kind of locally, very small town stuff. So I guess maybe that portion of my brain is always being used for the history stuff, but I don't know honestly the last time I've thought of something crazy like that. And maybe it's gonna pop in my brain now, and I'm gonna be like, "Did you know this happened?" And then you know what I mean?
I just
Huh?
next time that you're driving and you're sitting there and you're getting lost in the road, you're just looking at the stripes and then you're gonna think of a cannonball and you're gonna be like Civil War, like fucking Yuban. God damn, like maybe I do. And I'm gonna be haunting your dreams for at least the next 35 days.
It's possible. I mean, we had the War of 1812 and stuff like that up in this area, and they do reenactments and stuff, and people are super into that. And I've gone to a couple of those, and I'm like, this is like to me personally, not the people out there, but like to me, it's like this is a weird thing to get into. Like spending all that money, they do the whole like boom, like it's lighting off a cannon
Mm-hmm.
ball and stuff like that. But I don't think they really shoot them anymore. And it's like a weird thing. They battle and then they play dead, and I'm like, that's kind of you know what I mean? Like it's like an interesting thing. I don't know enough about it, but and you go and it brings you back in time. I mean, you see some people making some clothing, doing laundry the old school way. Like they have these villages and they're living like they would have back then. But then you see them out at the local grocery store buying their shit and driving a car, and it's like, see, this is where it kind of ruins it for me. Like you either go all in
You gotta stay
or
committed.
yeah, like
Commit to the
live the
bit.
life. It's not like all of a sudden you see an Amish and next thing you know they're driving a car. But that did happen to somebody recently. I know we don't want to continue to be on Amish talk, but I was talking. There's a local deli right up the road from me, and in being small town and in the middle of nowhere, you can relate. There's an actual place 2 miles from me where I can get fantastic food. Love it. Route 68 Deli. Can't say good enough things about it. And there was an Amish guy that was always coming in, like to get an ice cream for the ride home or something like that, maybe a meal every once in a while. Well, apparently, one day they saw him out and they're like, "What kind of looks like this guy?" He left the community.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and he ended up going to like, I'm gonna say like North Carolina or something, like being a trucker or something, like good money, being on the road. Got to imagine that's got to be pretty cool going from riding buggies to being a truck driver, seeing the
Right.
country, driving a truck, getting to places, being able to poop where there's like you can flush a toilet. Like I have to imagine, and yeah, apparently just and then he would go out to the bar and met some women, like just a full 360. Like we need to
Damn.
get somebody that had left the Amish community on a podcast sometime because that has to be pretty cool. And I don't know how much they can talk about, but we could sure pry.
I mean, that would be a great interview or something like that. Because especially as much as we've talked about the Amish community, that would be pretty sick. And the thing is, though, is how do you get the word out to somebody who's 1 foot out of the door, 1 foot still in? Like, hey, man, when you're thinking about leaving, do we have a podcast for you?
Right. Imagine if that's our thing now on the pre-records, we interview ex-Amish people or bring in some Amish, and I know they can't have their picture taken and video and stuff, but we could maybe just do audio only with that guy. Don't really want to have them in my studio unless it's shower day. No offense to them, but they
Yeah,
get pretty
no.
ripe in the summer. I mean, and that's
Oh.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I don't. I probably had a little stink from the golf tournament sweating yesterday, but
I was testing the limits of my deodorant during that walk yesterday for sure. Oh my God. 24
yeah.
per hour, 24-hour protection, my dick. That lasted about a good hour and a half.
I gotta tell you, and this is another selfish plug, but Copper John's deodorant, I've been rocking that since they came out with it. That stuff's good. All natural. That thing has great wearability. If that's wearability.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They're
that. I
gonna
mean,
come out
that
with some new scents soon too.
I have a shopping cart that I have with Copper John's, some products that I was going to buy. And then I was going to ask you which one that you were using because I was going to use it was a beard butter, but it was like a bourbon scent. And I didn't know if you have tried that one yet or
I
if you.
have, yeah, the Bourbon Bayou. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of has like a hippie incense smell.
Oh,
So I mean, if you're
okay.
into that and want it to wear like that, it's good. Today I'm wearing the scent of the month is Mount Rainier, unless I'm
Okay.
saying it wrong. Rainier.
Rainier.
Uh, Washington. Yep, and it's like a blueberry smell. If you're into blueberries, it's
Oh,
fantastic. It's honestly one of my favorite scents of the month. It's really good.
I might
Really
try
good.
that one because I looked at the Bourbon Bayou one, and now that you say the incense, no offense. I mean, I'm sure the scent is wonderful, but I have a very like just terrible nose and a very sensitive nose to where again I don't like to smell coffee or anything like that. But you would think with me smoking as much as I do that incense would be a thing around here that I'd be used to it. No, I'm usually not a big incense fan. And then, but my wife is. She'll burn them just for the hell of it. I'm like, damn, you just get on smoking up here? I was like, what the fuck? And she
Is
doesn't
it just
smoke.
to annoy you, you think, or does she really enjoy them?
She really enjoys them, and she'll like she's not one of those full on crystal people or anything like that, but she does burn sage like twice a year, and so sometimes she'll sit there burn it. And I'm like, no, like what the fuck are you doing? No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Uh, my new pens that I've received from a coworker, they taste like blueberry. You mentioned blueberry, and
Oh,
one of them is a melon dew, so it has a very melony taste to it, and it has no smell. So I have been looking like
ooh.
Thomas the Train coming around the hallway late at night, just. And she's like, "Damn!" She's like, "That was a big old puff." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm a big old bitch."
You see them big old titties I got going
Yeah,
on?
I was
Yeah,
like, "Look,
rewards, baby.
that's right." But it has been giving me the munchies worse than anything I've ever had before, to the
Mm.
point where I'm laying down. I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna fall asleep." And I'm like, or I could smash 3 snack packs, butterscotch pudding right now. And then it looks like a crime scene. Everyone wakes up in the morning and they're like, there I am looking like the animal, fucking Rob Schneider, but I got pudding cups around me. And they're like, you good? I'm like, yeah, just had a really good night. And they're like,
Yeah.
you still have butterscotch in your beard. It's crusty. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, can relate. Can relate to that, leaving food in there as well. And it was funny yesterday because obviously New York is a legal state, so a lot of people start to grow their own, and there's a lot more of that smell, which personally I love. Like we golfed. There was 60 something teams yesterday, and I know there was people there, but I didn't see a single person smoking a cigarette, which was wild to me. I know there was going to be some, but I mean, you think 5, 10 years ago, especially in this state, everybody's, and I hate the smell of cigarettes. Fucking can't stand it. When everybody was like in an uproar, if that's the right word, when they banned smoking in bars in New York years ago. Man,
Yeah.
you used to be able to walk into that same bowling alley I was talking about, open the front door, and the fucking smoke would come out the doors, and you're like, ugh, and then you get home and just smelling like smoke. But they had a beer cart going around yesterday, and they also with shots and stuff on it. So if you wanted a shot, they'd make you up a shot. And we're golfing, and she just kept going, man, we must have run over a skunk. It was this like older lady. There's just so much skunk smell on the golf course today. We're like, oh, so you should be really careful about that. Skunks, that smells pretty tough. You shouldn't run over it. But
Do you want to get sprayed there, asshole?
yeah.
I'm not gonna hook you up.
And then she'd leave, and they were like, is that her way of asking, like, who's got the weed? Because I'm pretty sure just about everybody has it.
Yeah, I mean, back when I used to golf and I used to smoke, it was not uncommon for me to have a cigarette in my mouth with every swing. I'm not even taking it out. They're like every single time that one of my buddies is like, look at him with his fucking with a goon in his mouth. Like, look at him just fucking just smoke. And they're like, look at this guy. And I mean, even a putt. And I'm like, oh shit, don't have it in my mouth here real quick. And I would go through like 2 packs in a fucking 18. And I do not miss those days at all. Talk about being sore, can't breathe, have a hangover. Triple threat. I fucking hated that shit.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah, and then a couple of the guys were doing this new age chew. I forget the name. It was like a green and white can. I can't think of it. And they're like, yeah, it's so much better for you. I'm like, you want one? I'm like, fuck no. I said, I chewed for years. I do not want this new form. I don't want any of that like shit. Like, you kick a habit like that. And I still don't drink liquor. And they were all, shot, let's do a shot. And so I was like, this is my, and I was like the old guy pretty much in the group. I was golfing with some younger guys, which was fun as fuck. And I was like, all right, no. You guys can do your shots, whatever. But every time you continue to do it, you got a shotgun a beer. And they're like, what? I'm like, you want a shot? You want that drunk so bad? Let's go. Every time you want. So they started off and shotgun a beer here, shotgun a beer there. And finally they were like, yeah, we're not asking you for shots anymore, man. We get it. And it took 2. And they're like, yeah, we get it. We get
at
it.
At least it was only 2. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. That's pretty funny. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say shotgun and golf, it just goes hand in hand. You need beers more than you need golf balls.
Yep. And it was funny because we were getting our coolers, and I was like, yeah, I'll take 6 of the whatever, Genesee, of course. And they're like, hold on, yeah, it's just gonna be a minute. We're kind of low on ice because they're filling a lot of coolers. I'm like, no, I don't need it. They're like, it's already cold. They're like, yeah, but you're gonna be on the course all day. I was like, oh yeah, no, I usually drink room temperature beer. And she was like, ugh. I'm like, what? She's like, that is fucking disgusting. Not only are you drinking Genesee, but you like it warm. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask you to put it in the microwave, but I mean, like, it's not a big. I don't need the ice. I'm helping you out. And she's like, no, I'm gonna put some ice in there for you. I really think you need the ice. And I'm like, you judging me right now? She's like, yes, I am. Like, you're gonna get some ice.
As she should. You fucking criminal. What the fuck? I mean,
well, so the guy I'm in the cart with is like, what the fuck is that? You really didn't get ice? And I'm like, no. I don't mind room temperature beers. They're like, he just kind of looks at me. I was like, all right, fuck it. Not that I need to explain myself, but so I said, when I grew up, I was stealing the old man's beer, and it's a beer that I fucking can't drink anymore because I would steal it. You're a kid, you're partying too hard, you drink too much of it. So he was like, ha, I'll show this fucker. So he wouldn't put his beer in the fridge, and he would drink his beer he would keep the cups or glasses in the freezer. So he always had a cold cup. He would drink it that way. And he's like, there's no way he's stealing it. One cup stealing it and stealing it. And I just got used to it. And as weird as it sounds, and of course we're talking about getting old, our fridges didn't have fucking ice makers, and our freezers didn't have ice makers in them. And I still don't own a fridge that you can go up and, and get water and ice out of it. Don't have, you know what I mean? So we didn't have it. So if you wanted ice, you had to go and buy ice. Yeah. I couldn't drive quite yet, allegedly, when I was stealing these beers. So I got used to room temperature beer, and that's just how I enjoyed it.
That makes sense. Okay. And you were talking about, getting sick off a certain, kind, growing up. Mine's Milwaukee's Best Light. I don't know if you ever had that before. It was the cheapest farm beer that you can get around here. So my uncle, that's what he's like, hey, you want to go help me farm today? And I'm like, I'm going to drink with you. Yep, that sounds like a good time. So there he is, drunk as shit, like 45 years old. Well, we go to this field over here. We're just gonna okay. And here I'm just 12, just driving his little pickup. I'm like, where are we going? Is this illegal? All right, cool. He's like, if you want a beer, it's in the back behind the seat.
This legal? Yeah, we're farmers. Farmers can do anything, you know? I mean, they can drive, they can burn shit whenever they want. They can just hunt a bunch of stuff when they want. They can do whatever they want. Hell, love the farmers. And yeah, or were we just with the beer? Oh, the farming and the beer. I lost my train of thought. I had something to say with that, but
well, I was gonna say too. You mentioned that farmers can kind of get away with everything. That's kind of what he would always allude to. Every time that we do something, I was looking at him like, "Hey, are we supposed to be doing this? Goddamn, we're backbone of the country. We ain't give a fuck if you leave him alone. Cop come over, I'll tell the fuck off. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "What the?"
you want that American Swiss cheese or not?
Right,
If
exactly.
it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have this American Swiss cheese. No, I was going to go off the Old Mill. That's what my father-in-law drinks. He loves Old Milwaukee. He
Yep.
can't get it anywhere, any store near him. But where I am, there's a distribution plant, or not plant, but a warehouse that obviously puts all the beer into the stores and businesses, and they have it. And there's like only one place in this very, very, very small place that still keeps it stocked. And I think they get a pallet or however many pallets, and they more or less ship pretty much right to this one very, very small place. And there just must be, I don't know if it's a couple of people or just a community or maybe a legion or something that sells a ton of it. It's like the only place around, like you can't get it in a store. So thankfully you can still go up to this place, order it. You don't get a deal or anything on it, but able to get it for, you know, so it keeps me on the good side for a little bit longer, but
Hell yeah. As long
but
as it's
there,
available somewhere.
right, and this is a terrible segue. I'm really bad at those, but this triggered my brain because I just thought of this story when you were talking about sage, and isn't it like
Oh,
sage
yeah.
something that you use to like and like ghosts and bad spirits or some shit they use sage or whatever. But
Yes.
apparently there was an article, I can't remember where it was. Let me look it up real quick. But there was a cursed painting out there that ended up being returned twice. So here it is right here. News.sky.com. Cursed painting sells for more than 1,600 euros after twice being returned to a charity shop. So there was an owner, Zoe Elliott Brown, took the painting back to the charity shop after being chased by an unidentified black figure. And I'm going to show you this painting here. And it is just looks like a normal painting at first, but that looks creepy as fuck, right?
That's haunting.
Yeah, it's a cursed, for anybody that's just listening, and again, you guys can go to news.sky.com, just type in like cursed painting or whatever, and it's a picture of what appears to be a young girl, but if you look like, it doesn't almost like evil devil horns, there's this weird cross, like there's some weird shit going on in this painting.
That is Lucifer's daughter, 100%. Like that
100.
is terrifying. And it doesn't help that whenever you scroll, it goes kind of blurry a little bit and then it focuses and then it's like her eyes just pierce. At least that's the way it's coming in on my side. And it is
Yeah.
terrible. And like her eyes aren't very symmetrical. Like she's got her left eye, I guess on
This
our
one's,
right.
I don't like
Yeah.
this one. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's
I don't
very
like it.
raised and just kind of like, I'll fucking peek inside your soul.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm just looking at this and it's giving me goosebumps, and I don't know what the fuck that's about, but I don't like it.
Dude,
I
it's
don't
one of
like
those ones. Move away from it. Do that thing. It's the eyes are following you each time. I don't like that.
I don't like that. Yeah, so the painting apparently went viral, like anything does, as it was pictured in an East Sussex charity shop with a warning on it saying, "She's back, sold twice, and returned twice. Are you brave enough?" So apparently, the last person to buy it bought it in August, ended up returning it, but apparently she just kept getting chased by this black figure, and then was like, "See ya," and took it right back. So they ended up putting it up for auction on eBay and sold. First for they made 450 euro on it. Sold for 1,680 and a penny.
That seems like a good scheme that you and I can get into. Let's just say it's like a cursed coffee pot or something like that. Are you guys dare to buy this coffee pot? And we'll start it off, small amounts. Like, yeah, it's $30. Like $30 for a coffee pot. And it just keeps raising the value because what's going to happen is I'm going to sell it, but we're going to dress you in all black and have you haunt these people for like a good couple weeks, and then they'll return it to me, and we'll just keep this story going. And the next
Okay.
person I sell it to, I'm like, "Hey, Matt, here's their address," because they just had to pay for it with a card.
Wait, why do I have to be the guy that keeps going to their house and
You're-
breaking and entering and being the ghost guy? Like,
You're more agile. You know what I
why
mean?
don't we just hire somebody locally, save a little bit of money instead of traveling? Like, what if it's in Florida and then the next one's in like California, and then maybe Texas? Like,
Well, I was thinking, it'd be like a local legend first. You got to build that base before it gets internet, the internet sensation before it becomes viral, and then we'll hire people. Because right now, if we're selling the coffee pot for $30, who are we going to hire somebody for like $1? We're cutting our margins, man.
That's true.
I'm just a businessman thinking ahead. But it seems like with a painting, you can definitely get more of that. So maybe we'll just have to create our own painting. Coffee pot wouldn't really,
So I have some old creepy paintings in here, and we could do one of those. And there's some weird stuff that's gone down. I mean, we have this weird old picture / painting of that the wife brought from like her house or something of this like kid. I got this like dude with no mustache or chin who's in the studio. This other really old guy. I got some weird shit going on here. There's another old guy.
You got a lot of
They got
old dudes
beards
in your studio.
Yeah, a lot of old dudes with beard, but the beards. So it's like the Beard Law studio. I was like, I'm gonna get some beards in there, but
I have an old painting of Lynn Dawson and Otis Taylor from Super Bowl 4. But yeah, the play that they won the Super Bowl in. Underneath my futon because I'm not a Chiefs fan, but it's it's signed by him twice, along with maybe I can get it in there. There's a little Chiefs football right there. That's signed by Lynn Dawson as well up there.
Ayo.
R.I.P. Lynn Dawson.
R.I.P. Speaking of R.I.P., I'm on that Sky News real quick, and you know how they throw those ads in? Apparently, a rhino killed a zookeeper and injured some others in Austria.
He was horny.
Could you imagine just fucking getting trampled by a rhino? Like, nope.
No. I've dated some big women in my life, but that's probably the only thing comparable.
Except for they were not nearly as horny, allegedly.
No.
But their dumps were probably just as big.
It felt just as heavy.
Just like Cisco said, dumps like a truck. That's like, what? Did you hear in the music world? NSYNC's back, baby.
Okay, so again, I love me some, boy band. I like all type of music, and 3 years ago, I 100% did see Backstreet Boys whenever they were having their tour, and it was sick. I loved every damn second of it. So I heard NSYNC was reuniting. I was always a Backstreet Boys fan. I wasn't more of an NSYNC, but I'm just like, I'm going to this. This is you have to. And so I'm using my daughter as an excuse who wants to go see them. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking her.
I love the memes that are going all over the internet. It says, hey, listen, if your birthday doesn't start with a 1, let's not buy tickets so we can actually go and enjoy it because we used to. But yeah, they came out with a new song, Better Place. Apparently you can listen to it now. I haven't heard it. Obviously we can't play it here, but maybe we'll listen to it. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, you grow up and you got to be this like tough man. You can't listen to Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block and 98 Degrees and all those. But we all have heard them because, we all listen to music, the radio, MTV, when they actually had music videos, which we recently started showing old MTV with music videos. And thankfully, the kids are not hating it. But we have one kid now, the youngest, who is obsessed with one song. And it happens to be the wife's, like one of her favorite, and it's Hanson Mbop. And it is just like on repeat. And now it's always in my goddamn brain because you're just sitting there and she's just either humming it or singing it and blasting it. And it's just a thing. Like it is very, very going there. And it is funny because she calls it the box or the beatbox song or something. It's never the right thing, which the way that she says things, it ends up being friggin' hilarious. But instead of disgusting, she always says disgusting.
Yep.
It's not disgusting, it's disgusting. And I'm like, it is disgusting. Yep.
It is. And it's whenever you pick up on those sayings and it just starts becoming like the norm, that's for my daughter, whenever she was younger, she used to call chocolate milk chocolatade because we'd always have lemonade. We'd always have like these different mixtures. And so she thought when she saw chocolate.
Wait, you're not mixing chocolate milk and lemonade, right?
No.
Okay, I was thinking, listen, I know we've talked about some weird shit we put together, but that has to be terrible.
That should be a punishment. We should write that down.
We should write
chocolate milk lemonade drink. So
writing it down right now.
Me as well. So I'll look at this probably in a week and be like, lemonade chocolate milk. What the fuck did I write that for? But
and then you're gonna be like, I better try that.
Right.
The painting of that little girl is haunting me. I need to try this to make it go away. Wife, bring the sage.
Right. So I think I would rather drink the chocolate milk lemonade than have that painted in my house for sure. But yeah, so we would have the strawberry milk, the chocolate milk. It was always the mixture. So she just assumed that lemonade, since it was the powder and stuff, that it was chocolatade. So every single time that we'd have the chocolate syrup, like, oh, chocolatade. So even now that it's been 10 years since she said that, like sometimes we'll still say it and she's like, quit calling it that. That's so annoying. Or she would say, that's so cringe.
It's cringe.
Oh, no, I
There's
did
a
get invited to
video.
something. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was randomly Googling chocolate milk and lemonade, and apparently there is a YouTube video called Milk Lemonade Chocolate. Has 80,000 views 14 years ago, and I'm very intrigued by it. And it says chewing the fat, milk
Yeah.
lemonade chocolate. Is it a music video?
Oh
'Cause
my God.
it's weird.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah, and I don't know if YouTube's gonna love that we do it, but I feel like we need a chance. So we're shouting them out. We'll put the link in the description potentially, but we don't own rights to this video, but we're playing it for entertainment purposes only. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay.
Milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk.
And although the statements on the front of the shirts are
What the?
old, research tells us that the kids and the teenagers are quite happy to wear quirky, risky, if you like, branding.
Do you have kids?
No.
Right. Well, I have two, and I can honestly say that I would let either one of them wear this merchandise.
Gentlemen, your research may prove right, but there's no way this company could stand behind this type of product.
Milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk, lemonade, chocolate, milk, lemonade, chocolate.
I don't know. The internet is a weird place, and so is the universe, apparently, to lead us down. I mean, how many times are you going to start doing milk, lemonade,
Immediately.
chocolate?
I mean, she's gonna be painting that deck and everything. And as soon as I'm gonna go, milk, lemonade, chocolate. She'll be, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm going to annoy the shit out of her for the rest of the day with that easily.
I feel like we should somehow come up with some collab and try to do this on social media.
Yeah, so we're gonna write that down as milk, lemonade, chocolate. And so I did get invited to something in the next couple of weeks, which
It's not AA, right? Because that's that's a weird. If you need help, go get help. Not you, but anybody that's very serious. But if you just randomly get invited, that's called an intervention.
that is true. So usually that's why I don't ever go to surprise birthday parties. Like, hey, Brandon, you wanna come to this? And I'm like, you're trying to set me up for an intervention. I'm not going.
I come to weird things, but not that.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That is not on my list. So I got this invite in an email. And they're like, hey, they're like, do you like barbecue? I'm like, yeah. They're like, do you
Yes.
like beer? I'm like, yes. Do you like free music? Yes. And then they go, do you like NASCAR? I'm like, losing me. And they're like, and you like to be free? I'm like, and I'm back in. But apparently
not bad.
there's a World Series of barbecue going on in Kansas City on the 29th. So at the end of this month, they're like, hey, and apparently it's with the hotel chain with Marriott. They're like, we're going to invite you and a guest to come over, and it's at the Kansas Speedway, and they have a VIP in one of the garages that the cars are in or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And they're like, we have live music. There's supposed to be a well-known artist that they haven't announced yet. I doubt they're that well-known.
It's not
but
Bob Ross.
I was like, let it be somebody good. Like, come on, let it be. But yeah, so we get to taste test everybody's entries for like this World Series of barbecue. Get to have all these drinks included. They're gonna shuttle us from the hotel back and forth. I was like, twist my arm. Fuck, it sounds like a terrible time. I don't think I can make it. But
Maybe Jeremy Littell will be there. He's a big
I don't know.
NASCAR guy.
So I've seen that Nutley, what the hell's his name? Justin. Yeah, I know he's a lot. He was just at Bristol with Jeremy and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. So, but I don't think there's actually going to be like a NASCAR event there, but it's going to be held at the Speedway. So I was like, oh shit. So I'm going to have to send McDermott. I'm going to send him a whole bunch of these different barbecue things so he can, be like, 2 hours away, so close yet so far.
Right? That'd be cool too, even if it was not too far from him, that maybe he could do like a cool thing and cover it for the
Mhm.
news channel.
That would be fucking sick
That'd be
because I
cool if
mean
you
it.
guys could meet up and then you guys could be in one room in a hotel. And we could, do an episode where it's me and then you two. Well, that'd be cool. And for anybody that is only here to watch Brandon on the show, he just couldn't make it. He was traveling at the time of the recording, and then the day after we as our backup recording day. Just turns out all of us are super busy, and it just didn't work out. Especially when you add that we do a show Tuesday and Wednesday and every other day. So this is the beauty of the pre-record, and I think you love it too, where we can just be like, "Hey, want to record? Yeah, I'm ready in 15." I was like, "Cool, I'm ready in 30. Cool, let's do it then."
Yep.
Sorry that the wife is out there still probably painting and staining the deck. What is staining? That sounds dirty.
That's very close to taint.
Yes,
I don't
but
know
what
what
would the st be? Stinky taint is staining.
Are you staining your taint? I know some people bleach their butthole. Can you stain your taint?
And call it staining.
I'm pretty sure I've tried.
Yeah, I mean, you get down there and it's stinky. It could be that too. Stinky taint, staint.
It's the good old homegrown American Swiss.
Hey, what's that smell? My staint. It's stained.
Gonna charge you extra for this one. How about that?
Milk, lemonade, chocolate.
That was not where I thought that was going to go at all. And even with the podium, when you see flags and you see people, I mean, you're like, what is this? What is this going to be? And then I was kind of like, and I did not assume for the milk, lemonade, chocolate. But
The
again,
best part is that was only the first minute. There is still 2 minutes of that video. So I'll send that there. I'm going to put it in the private chat for your viewing pleasure. And again, hopefully we'll put that in the description. Again, it's The Jinx Effect. I had 80,000 views January 20th, 2009.
it's the day after my birthday. Damn.
Oh shit. And this channel has 673 subscribers. I don't know. It doesn't appear that it's their actual content. I think they put it out there from somewhere else because there's also some wrestling. Jake Venom versus Jake Riddle is going down in there 15 years ago. Yeah, you got a bunch of different family guys on there, and yeah, so clearly it's not the Homer Simpson, unless it's one of the Simpsons back there. But all right,
Predicting the future per usual.
predicting the future, milk, lemonade, chocolate. Well, but we got a lot of stuff to do. I know you got to get out there and get your staint ready while you stain. And this is fun, man. I can't thank you enough, Yuban, and anybody that's still listening. We really appreciate you guys, and feel free to check out the Patreon if you want. Really help us in the show because we're 7,997 away from our goal. So
Close.
79,000. We're not good at math. And for anybody that was wondering our math the other day, it was 20 million. 1% of 2 billion is 20 million.
That was close.
3 or 4 grown-ass adults could not do that math. We couldn't move the decimal places. So stay in school. Maybe go to school for longer than 3 hours a day. And because you can end up getting a job anywhere eventually.
Absolutely.
But don't be a fool. Stay in school. And as Dare says, don't do all the drugs. Don't do the ones that are really going to fuck you up for the rest of your life. Just don't do those at all. Stay away from them. That should be a rule of thumb. You know what I mean? Like, just Google. All right, like if you're like, oh, heroin sounds good, go Google it and look how those crackheads look and how they're all in jail, police blotters. They look. I saw somebody got busted near my place and they had like $9,000 worth of nasty shit. They were 32, and if you looked at their mugshot, they legit looked fucking 55.
Oh man, that's rough.
Stay away from all of the drugs.
And just
Alcohol
remember,
is just as bad. Yeah,
they can't breathalyze mushrooms.
that's what they say.
Jesus, I sounded like I
Mushrooms.
was. Is Mike Tyson back in here again? What the fuck is going on?
They can't breathalyze the mushrooms. Yeah. Certain countries, I think they can because they're legal. But either way, don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school. And yeah, you should definitely listen to us because that's what it is. So that's all we got. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you next time. Go follow Yuban and Brandon.
Milk,
Lemonade,
chocolate.
That's gonna be our new theme
Milk,
song.
lemonade, chocolate. That's gonna be our outro.
We should. We need a cool little theme song, just like a quick little thing for an intro for the Beard Laws. Like, we should come up with that.
That's our homework for next week.
That's our homework for next week. We're gonna come up with a cool little musical intro, just something quick, like even like Two Bears, One Cave. It's like Tom and Bert are never gonna keep it clean, and it's just this quick little jingle. That's our goal. We'll come up with
Absolutely.
something fun for that. All right, look at us. We're doing productive things, and we got to go do productive things. Turns out I have deck work to do too, and so do you. So all I got.
Yeah.
And football's on soon, so
Let's go.
I'm gonna go do some research on some bets. I'll send over what I like, and I've been dragging this out a lot. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
In the realm of beard loss, a trio strong and true. Yuban, Brandon, and beard loss with tales both old and new. Their whiskers like a forest, their knowledge like a stream, guiding us through beardom and culinary dream. Beard loss, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. Yuban, the jester in clouds of green, laughs and wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, food daddy supreme, a feast of facts, a culinary dream. Beard loss, the patriarch, his beard a regal crown, a symbol of authority in every bustling town. His wisdom, like bristles, sharp and well-defined, guiding all the bearded with every law outlined. Yuban Whakinov with laughter in his stride, weed in his hand, and jokes worldwide. A mirthful spirit, lighting up the room in the haze of humor, dispelling any gloom. Beard loss, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. Yuban the jester in clouds of green, laughs and wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, food daddy supreme, a feast of facts, the culinary dream. Together they unite, a trio strong and bold, and beard laws and laughter and stories to be told. In the culinary realm that conquer every quest, a podcast that unlanes all the very best. Brandon J. McDermott, food daddy at the helm, master in the culinary, every flavor realm. From spices to techniques, a foodie's delight, guiding our taste buds day and night. Beard laws, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. Yuban the jester in clouds of green, laughs and wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, food daddy supreme, a feast of facts, the culinary dream. So gather round, will listeners keen, to the Beard Laws podcast, a vibrant scene with beard laws and culinary flair, a journey of knowledge beyond compare.